Hey beautiful souls, it's Rachel here from A Bridge to Tranquility, and thank you for joining me over on YouTube. So I'm still getting my flair for YouTube, as you can tell, but we're here. It is March and it is time for us to see what is going on this month. What do we need to know? What guidance do we need to be looking for? Like, what is the universe trying to say to us this month? We have the Piscean new moon coming in on the 13th of March. We're also followed by Ostara, which is on the 21st, 20th, debates. But yeah, 20th, 21st of March. This is the mark of spring equinox. So there's a lot of energy going on at the moment that's very fertile, it's very new, it's very springy. But what is March here to teach us? What is March here to show us? So I've pulled 3 cards and then I'm going to go into the deck and we're just going to see what's going on basically. So the first thing highlighted here is judgment. Like, this is going to be a month of really, and I don't mean like judgment as in judging other people or judging this or kind of in an ego way. It's kind of like it's judgment time. How are you feeling about everything? Almost judging yourself, judging your behaviour, judging and assessing how everything has gone so far and what really needs to happen here. Yeah, this is very, very much about going in within self. It's very much a month of reflecting within yourself and within really being quite honest, like, what is going on? Why are you the way that you are? As harsh as that sounds from spirit, why are you the way that you are? Why are things happening the way that they're happening? Don't look for excuses or escapisms or a way to kind of beat around the bush about it. Like, really tap into and activate that mindset that's within you and be judgmental of yourself, but not judgmental in a nasty, I'm stripping layers off myself. Be judgmental in the sense of, this needs to get done now, this needs to get moved, and this needs to get shifted. March is giving us that energy, so it's really, really important that we flow into it. Don't know what's going on with my card deck there, but it all just went into a big mush. So we're going to keep it that way. Okay, going into the next pull. A time to devote to self, a time to devote to what is going, like, this is kind of like, the way that I like to call it is when we think of the sun cycles, they align with the moon cycles align with the sun cycles, etc., etc. Like, us stepping into spring now is like us stepping into that action period. Like, it's time to take action. It's time to really not just talk the talk but walk the walk, like, get things done. And this is through that devotion of self. It's through devoting yourself to everything that you need, everything that you require, everything that's essential for you to move forward needs to come out this month. It needs to be shown this month. And again, this is all about not ignoring yourself. It's not about fighting against yourself. It's not about being in a space of a lack of compassion. It's about really understanding, this is what I need to be able to flourish. This is what I need to be able to feel better. I think that's the important thing. We can kind of be harsh on ourselves for things not feeling right, but what are we doing to make it better? And I feel like this is what that energy is bringing through to us, through self-devotion, through devoting to what we need, through devoting to our practices. And our practices just don't have to always be spiritual practices either. It's very, very much about underlying truths. It's about underlying truths so that we can step into this fortune. At the moment, it's almost like if you're not willing to go into that space of judgment and devotion, then you're not going to be able to reap all of these beautiful, beautiful things that you have sown. Right. Going into the next part, and it's all about intention. It's all about intention. It's all about the purpose that you're giving to these things. It is really, really easy for us to look at something and say, right, this is not working, this is what I'm going to do about it, and then don't do anything about it. Like, this is where that judgment and devotion all interlinks together. Judgment, devotion, and intention, it's purpose. It's about getting things done. It is really like, I've never been so kind of like, it's almost like I'm getting pushed, I'm getting pulled, I'm getting kicked, I'm getting shoved. Like, get stuff done. This is not the time to be dragging our feet. This is not the time to be beating around the bush and wondering if things are right. This is the time to make change, and not just a little bit of change, like alignment in the things that we love, alignment in everything that the spirit and the universe is trying to guide us towards. Like, don't shy away from these things. Really allow them to open up wide to us. Allow them to almost become like an external breathing space. Like, this is how important it is. It's your breath, and it's almost getting the light at the end of the tunnel. Getting the light at the end of the tunnel. So much resulting in fortune and so much resulting in positivity and power if we can just literally be really honest with ourselves and be really realistic with ourselves and be like, you know what? Am I just dragging my feet around and saying, why doesn't this ever work? Or why doesn't this work? Or I want this to change? Or da 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 da. But what do you actually do about it? What intentions and purpose do you set? Do you walk in this intention every day? Do you devote yourself to this thing every day? Or are you actually just kind of looking from the outside and just complaining? And just really not prepared to make a massive change, because this is what this is about now. It's a month of removing burdens. It's a month of taking the weight off our back. You can see a beautiful image of a beautiful, almost like donkey, but so much weight, just year after year, month after month, just being piled on, piled on, piled on. And it's almost like the owner of the donkey being so aware of the toll that this is taking on this animal, the burden, the way that everything is now a lot harder for this animal, the way that everything is harder, it's more a struggle, it's more pain, it's more suffering. And it's like, you are both the animal and the owner. That animal is a representation of your life. And when you're sitting here kicking and screaming, almost like, why is it so hard? Why is it so horrible? How much is on your back? How much have you not got rid of? How much have you not cleaned? How much have you not changed? Because it's really, like, change is a word that is thrown around so much. But really, are you doing it, or are you just saying it? Are you changing things that you think you should be changing because everybody else is changing them, but you're not actually changing the stuff that is required of you? You're not actually changing the stuff that's going to be of benefit to your life. You're just changing the stuff that you think you should be changing because that's what everybody else is doing. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to make your load any lighter, and it's not going to make your life any easier. If anything, it's just adding distractions and escapism to it. It's really time to stand up and almost take stride and power in the things that you need to do. Take stride and power in the healing that you need to do for yourself. Don't just follow the ship aimlessly. You didn't come from one field to then come over to another to be a sheep instead of a shepherd. That was not the plan. So it's almost like I want to say to us all, like, take a step back. Take a step back and be really, really honest with yourself this month. Really, really honest. What is in your way? How are you in your way? What really needs to change? And I don't mean just change for a little bit. What do you need to devote yourself to? What do you need to be walking in purpose with? And we hear a lot about purpose, and then people will be like, oh, I don't know what my purpose is. But you can know that your purpose is to be happy, at least for this month. You can know that your purpose is to not be in this situation anymore, or to not feel this way. It doesn't have to be your life purpose, but it can be your purpose for the moment, your next line of focus, your next line of intention. Because if you can't fulfill those small purposes, how are you going to fulfill your life purpose in confidence and in love, in overwhelming energy? How are we going to do that? Or is it time to step to the side and give in and just float along and be on this same cycle you've been on? We haven't got time for that. And they haven't got time for that either. Judgment, devotion, intention. That is what we need for March. And that is what we need pushing forward. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this month's reading. There are always weekly readings over on our Instagram page at A Bridge to Tranquility. That's where we share a lot. Tea talks on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30. Lots of lives, lots of freebies. However, I am going to be looking at bringing some different things over to YouTube. The monthly readings will definitely be staying on here. And I'm going to have a little play around with what I wish to bring next. But there's definitely going to be more coming as the year goes on, especially as we end this first quarter. But I love and appreciate you all so, so much. And remember, you don't have to be weird to be spiritual, but it definitely, definitely helps. Love you all, beautiful souls. Have a beautiful, beautiful week and a beautiful, beautiful month.